previous video, we discussed about the defining features of a living organism. Let us continue with the chapter 1, Living World. Here we are going to start with biodiversity. The number and types of organisms present on Earth is referred to as biodiversity. The word biodiversity is a contracted version of the term biological diversity. So the term biological diversity was first used by Raymond F. Dasman. Later, the term biodiversity was coined by W. G. Rosen, and Edward O. Wilson made it public. There are about 1.7 to 1.8 million known species in this world. 3 levels of biodiversity are discussed, such as genetic diversity, which constitute all different genes within a species. Next comes ecosystem diversity, which says about all the different habitats, biological communities, ecological processes, and variations. And next is species diversity, which talks about different populations of a species. Now let's discuss about the term systematics. Systematics is the study of diversity of organisms and their comparative and evolutionary relationship. It helps in naming and identifying an organism. Scientists who contribute to the classification are termed as systematists. Systema Naturae is the book written by Carolus Linnaeus. In this book, he listed all animals known to him at that time and included critical guidelines for classifying an organism. Taxonomy. It is the subtopic of systematics which deals with the study and principles of classification. Aristotle is known as the father of taxonomy. Now let's discuss the basic processes of taxonomy. It includes characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature. Characterization is the understanding of the characters of organisms. Identification is giving correct description of the organism so that naming is possible. And next comes classification. This is the grouping of organisms into convenient categories based on their characters. And nomenclature is assigning of names to the organisms which is to be known by the same name all over the world. All the scientific names are based on the agreed principles and criteria. These are provided in various international codes of nomenclature. All botanical names are based on the rules in International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. All zoological names are based on International Code for Zoological Nomenclature, ICZN. International Code for Viral Nomenclature includes all the names of viruses, and ICNB stands for the nomenclature of bacteria. Naming organisms using 2 names is known as binomial nomenclature. Gaspard Bowen was the first to propose the concept of binomial nomenclature. Later, it was adopted and made public by Linnaeus. Binomial nomenclature is a system of providing distinct or proper scientific names to organisms, each consisting of 2 words. First, generic, and second, specific. References to valid naming are given by Linnaeus in his book Species Plantarum. He named over 8,000 species in the book. There are certain rules to be followed while naming an organism. These rules are universally accepted. Let's have a look into those rules. Scientific names must be in Latin and printed in italics. When handwritten, they are underlined separately. The first word is genus name or generic name And the second word is species name or specific epithet. Genus name starts with capital letter and the species name is written in small letters. For example, Homo sapiens. It is the scientific name of human beings, where Homo is a genus name and sapiens is a species name. Name of the author in abbreviated form also appears at the end of the biological names at times. Example, Mangifera indica, Linn, where Linn indicates that this species was first described by Linnaeus. Various groups used in classification are called taxa. In singular, taxon. The arrangement of taxa constitute the taxonomical hierarchy. Species is the basic unit of taxonomy. Group of closely related organisms are put under species, and those organisms which are capable of interbreeding to produce fertile offsprings are put under this taxon. The term species was coined by John Ray. Modern concept of species as the biological species concept was put forward by Ernst Mayr. He has been popularly known as the Darwin of 20th century. The next higher taxon is genus, which includes group of closely related species. For example, genus Panthera includes Panthera tigris, tiger, Panthera leo, lion, Panthera onca, jaguar, and Panthera pardus, leopard. Family is a group of closely related genera. Example, family Felidae includes the genera of cats Felis, genera of leopard Panthera. Family name always ends with the letters AEA. Next higher taxon is order. It is the assemblage of related families. Related families like Felidae, which is the cat family, and Canidae, which is the dog family, are included under the order Carnivora. Class is the next higher taxon. It is the assemblage of related orders. Orders like primates, Carnivora, Chiroptera, and Rodentia are included under the class Mammalia. It is the basis on which most fossil study is based. Phylum includes all related classes. In the case of plants, it is named as division. Example, phylum Chordata includes Mammalia, Aves, Reptilia, etc. Next comes the highest category of taxonomic hierarchy, which is kingdom. It is the assemblage of related phyla. Here are few examples of organisms with their taxonomical categories. Man, kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Primata, family Hominidae, genus Homo, species Sapiens, and the biological name is Homo sapiens. Housefly comes under the kingdom Animalia, phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, order Diptera, family Mucidae, genus Musca, species Domestica, and so the biological name Musca domestica. In the case of mango, kingdom Plantae, division Angiospermae, class Dicotyledonnae, order Sapindales, family Anacardiaceae, genus Mangifera, species Indica, and the biological name is Mangifera indica. Coming to wheat, comes under the kingdom Plantae, division Angiospermae, class Monocotyledonnae, order Poales, family Poaceae, genus Triticum, species Aestivum, and so Triticum aestivum. Let's have a look at the taxonomic hierarchy of dog. Kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Carnivora, family Canidae, genus Canis, species Familiaris, and so the biological name Canis familiaris. Tulsi, kingdom Plantae, division Angiospermae, class Dicotyledonnae, order Lamiales, family Lamiaceae, genus Ocimum, species Sanctum, and so Ocimum sanctum. There are certain taxonomical aids that help us to gather more knowledge on classification and identification of organisms, such as herbarium, botanical garden, zoological parks, biological museum, key, flora, manuals, monographs. First of all, herbarium. Herbarium is a storehouse of collected plant specimens that are dried, pressed, and preserved on sheets and then arranged according to universally accepted system of classification. One has to label the sheets with date, place of collection, local and scientific names, family names, collector's name as well. Now comes to the next taxonomical aid, botanical garden, which is an ex situ conservation site, which have a collection of living plants for reference and identification. Here also, the plants are labeled with their binomials and family. Few of the famous botanical gardens are Royal Botanical Garden at Kew, England, Indian Botanical Garden at Howrah, India, National Botanical Research Institute at Lucknow, India. Next taxonomical aid is zoological parks, which is an in situ conservation. These are the places where animals are kept in protected environment. Now comes the biological museum, which is a collection of preserved plants and animal specimens for study and reference. Key is yet another taxonomical aid, which is the convenient aid for identification of plants and animals based on their similarities and differences. Keys are based on the contrasting characters, which are generally and keys are mostly analytical in nature. Next comes flora, which gives us an actual account of plant species in a given area. Manuals help us to identify the names of plant species. Monographs gives us information on one taxon. Self-assessment after each session is mandatory. To help you with that, a link of a Google form is attached in the description box and the comment box as well. Try it out and meet you soon in the continuing session. Thank you.